Ever wonder how to handle a glitch on Pinterest? I know the feeling. You're doing your thing, you're being consistent, you're pinning, you're scheduling, you're creating those idea pins, you're checking your analytics, making sure it's all on point, and then boom, something isn't working. And yes, it's annoying. We get lots of questions about different glitches that happen on Pinterest. Something disappeared, analytics aren't showing correctly, my shop has disappeared. The possibilities are endless. So for today, I have gathered the most common questions we get around glitches or Pinterest being broken or just things not working, you know. I'm gonna put your mind at ease and we're gonna talk about it. Hey guys, I'm Tabby with Simple Pin Media and we are here to help you find your perfect person on Pinterest. So glitches on Pinterest. First of all, there are an array of them. Secondly, keep in mind that oftentimes there's nothing you can do about it. Isn't that comforting? More often than not, when somebody comes to us asking us on maybe our Instagram, DM us, or leave a comment, maybe even under this video, or send us an email, or even see it in the Pinterest business community, people will say, I can't see my analytics. They've disappeared, they're gone, or something like that. Usually, it's just in that moment that there's a glitch. And what you really need to do is just wait a day or two and everything will be back to normal. And the reason I feel very confident in telling you that is because here at Simple Pin, we've managed hundreds of accounts. We have discovered that usually it resolves itself within a day or two. Now, of course, there are glitches where you might need to contact Pinterest support and have them look at the issue. Let's talk about some specific glitches that we've seen over the years and what you can do about it. First problem we've seen. Somebody uploads a brand new pin in the first few hours or even the first day or two. They see only 0 under the pin, meaning like 0 impressions, 0 clicks, 0 engagement. Usually this means it's just a glitch and there's nothing you can do about it. Usually what you need to do is just keep moving forward. Oftentimes what I've seen is creators or business owners get really focused on that one pin and they dissect, why is that pin not getting engagement? Why is it getting only 0 views? I need to figure out what the problem is. But really what you need to do is just focus on your core content. Are you writing blog posts for your website? Are you creating products for your website? What are you doing that is your core content? That is what you really need to focus on. Yes, create those pins, create those idea pins, maybe even video pins if you have footage. Create them, get them onto Pinterest, do all the right things you know you're supposed to do, and move on. That's all you can do. The only time I would advise somebody to contact Pinterest about seeing 0 in their metrics and their analytics is if it is a consistent issue you're seeing month after month where you're getting almost no engagement. There might be a situation where you are caught in Pinterest spam filter or something like that. But most often it is just maybe that pin was just unlucky. I will tell you that as we at Simple Pin Media create pins and manage pinning, we don't focus on that one pin here or there. We just get the pins out after content has been created and we move forward. Another one might be something like drops in traffic. You are noticing that you have a dip in your traffic on Pinterest. Maybe you're viewing analytics on Pinterest and you're seeing that all of a sudden there's like 0 engagement, 0 impressions, things like that. First, I want you to take a deep breath. Then I want you to check your Google Analytics because sometimes Pinterest Analytics has a little bit of a glitch and they're not showing what's actually being done on Pinterest. So check your Google Analytics for the same days that you're seeing an issue and compare them to your Pinterest Analytics. There could be a huge discrepancy there. We've seen that a few times. And if there is, rely on your Google Analytics to tell you the truth. Another one we've heard is, my rich pins aren't working. If you don't know what a rich pin is, let's talk about that another day. Just kidding. Basically, a rich pin does several things for you. It gives credibility to your pin, gives it a nice little chunky title, and Pinterest sees that it's important and it will help with distribution. So sometimes people will notice that their rich pins aren't working. It just is kind of like a dead pin. So there are a few reasons why your rich pins might not be working. Number one, if you just set it up, worked with your code and did all the things you're supposed to do with that, which by the way, I will link below the article from Pinterest on how to set up your rich pins. If you followed all of those instructions and you're not seeing your rich pins, it's most likely because it takes 24 to 48 hours, sometimes even up to a week, before creators, business owners start seeing their rich pins populate. Give it time if you just set that up. If you have had your rich pins set up for a while, they've been working, and then suddenly it's not working, once again, it could just be a glitch in the moment. Give it a few days and see if it starts working again. Another thing you could do is check your rich pins in the rich pin validator, which I will also link below. You can enter your pin link into that validator and it will show you what is working, what is not working. So next, if you have waited, you've given it some time to work itself out, you've checked in the pin validator, then I would contact Pinterest, because sometimes it is something that is wrong on Pinterest's end and they need to fix it. By the way, there will be several moments in this video where I will suggest that you contact Pinterest. I will have that link to contact Pinterest support down below. Another one we've heard a lot is that my descriptions have disappeared. Pin descriptions usually is what it is. And I actually can't think of a time where there was anything you could do about that. It's usually just a glitch. It's just not firing correctly on Pinterest. And again, I would say keep moving forward, keep creating your content, and then creating different pins for that content and move on in life. If, however, you are using a plugin such as Tasty Pins or Grow by Mediavine, there is a possibility that that plugin is having an issue with grabbing your description and pulling it over to Pinterest correctly. So make sure you are also checking that plugin and maybe even contacting their support as well. It's not always Pinterest's fault. Here's another big one that we have talked about many times over the last few years, and that is my account got suspended. We've heard this one so much so that we even did a podcast episode on it. I'll link that below. What to do if your account gets suspended? First of all, it's very frustrating. We know that. Very frustrating. I'm very sorry. We know. What do you do about it? The best way that we have seen to handle this situation is to contact Pinterest support, which is linked below, and let them know what happened. Give them all your information, include your business, your website, your Pinterest account. Let them know that you think it was a mistake. And then I would send that message to Pinterest support over and over again until it gets resolved, until they bring back your account. Now, we will advise people to do this and they will come back to us and say, I did contact them several times. What I mean by contacting them several times is to send a ticket multiple times a week, weekly. So maybe send a support ticket 2 or 3 times a week and do that every week until your account comes back. We have had people get their account back within the week, within the first week, and then we've had people get their account back in a couple of months. It's very frustrating, and that is the best way to get your account back. 9 times out of 10, it's not your fault. Usually it's just the spam filter that caught you when it shouldn't have. Now, if you are the 1 in 10 who is actually spamming Pinterest and you've been suspended, it's likely that when you submit a ticket, they're gonna look at your account and what you've been doing on Pinterest, and they're gonna see that you are spamming Pinterest, and they probably are not going to reinstate your account. It's important to follow best practices on Pinterest. Board covers. Yes. Sometimes creators get a little obsessive over board covers. It's really not necessary. People want to have like it organized. They want to have pretty pictures or words on the board covers that explain what the board is. I don't know. There's different reasons why people want to have their board covers look a certain way. The reason why I wouldn't focus too much on that and spend a bunch of time on it and stress over it is because Pinterest often changes the way a board cover is shown, or they might even change the specs of a board cover, so your old board covers suddenly don't fit in the new format. My best piece of advice is to just use an image that doesn't have any words on it and is an image of kind of what is in that board. So for example, if you have a board about organizing pantries, the image could be just an organized pantry. That way, when things change on Pinterest, it's just a picture of a pantry. Nobody has to worry about it. Next, another common one we hear is that somebody lost a bunch of followers. So Pinterest often, we don't know how often, but several times a year I'd say, will go through your followers, and if there are any spam accounts that are following you, those accounts get deleted. So they're no longer following you. And that's actually a good thing. You don't really want spam accounts following you. Okay, so 3 things I want you to keep in mind. Number 1, after you have waited a couple of days to see if it will resolve itself. If it hasn't, you can reach out to Pinterest support. The link is below. Make sure you give them all of your information, your Pinterest account, your website, your name, your handle, all of those things, and let them know what's going on. The next thing you could do is join the Pinterest business community, also linked below. That's a great place to see if you're alone or not. Oftentimes, if it's a widespread glitch or broken Pinterest, there are going to be a lot of creators and business owners in the PBC commenting about it, and sometimes you can get answers there as to why a glitch is happening if it's widespread and lasting longer than a day or 2. And the third thing to remember is to be persistent. Like I said before, if you have a glitch that is not resolving itself, or you've been suspended, contacting Pinterest support on a consistent basis until you get an answer is the best way to resolve these issues. Also remember to be nice. Nobody wants to help a poo-poo. And listen, just remember that every single platform out there has glitches. They all have their glitches, and sometimes you just gotta roll with it, keep on moving forward, do your own thing, and not stress about it. Remember to check the links below because there are a lot of them today. And right here, I am talking about how to keyword on Pinterest. If you need some tips on how to do that, click this video and keep watching, and I'll see you next week.